Hi everybody, and welcome to video 3 of our 3-part video series focused on strategic life design and goal setting. In the first video, you saw why traditional goal setting fails. In the second, you learned it's not willpower, it's identity and systems. Today, I want to show you something different. Not theory, not concepts, not motivation, but what life actually looks like when this finally works. When your goals stop being promises and start becoming reality. So imagine this version of your life. You wake up knowing exactly what you're working on and why. You don't feel scattered, you don't feel guilty, and you don't feel behind. You know who you're becoming, what matters this quarter, what you're doing this week, what today's effort is for. You don't need hype to move, and you don't need pressure to act. Your life finally supports your goals. And that's the difference between chasing goals and designing your life. In the last video, video 2, you learned identity drives behavior. Behavior creates results. Results reinforce identity. Now imagine that loop working in your favor every day, not occasionally, but automatically. So let me show what identity and system design looks like in real life. So let's use some real life, well-known examples. Michael Jordan. Jordan wasn't just practicing basketball. He built an identity. I am someone who outworks everyone. His system matched that identity. Extra training after team practice, obsessive film study, daily skill repetition, competitive self-standards. He didn't just rely on confidence, he designed confidence. Now, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah built an identity of reflection, growth, and contribution. Her systems, daily journaling, intentional learning, emotional awareness, purpose-based decisions, reflection practices, emotional regulation rituals. She didn't chase success. She designed a life that made success inevitable. Elon Musk, love him or not, Musk lives and operates from identity. His identity is, I'm a builder of the future. His systems reflect that identity. First principles thinking, relentless prioritization, structured problem solving, deep work environments, ruthless elimination of distraction. He doesn't hope productivity appears, he designs for it. He doesn't rely on feeling motivated, he relies on identity-aligned structure. Lastly, Serena Williams. Serena built an identity as a relentless competitor. Her daily systems were designed around that identity. Training when tired, recovery rituals, mental rehearsal, environmental discipline. She wasn't relying on motivation. She was living inside a designed identity system, and her results followed naturally. So these people are not superhuman. They are system designed. They are people who design systems to match their identity. They didn't rely on emotion. They relied on identity-supported structure. And the moment you understand this, your own goals will stop feeling impossible. In my own case, let me show you what this looked like. 20 years ago, I had a failed business. I was over $35,000 in debt. And what hurt more than the money was the self-doubt that started creeping in. Maybe I'm not really an entrepreneur. But a mentor helped me realize that despite the failures, I was still an entrepreneur. And so that was how I decided to act and show up each and every day. Then in a meeting, because I saw myself as an entrepreneur, I saw an opportunity. Not because I was confident, but because I'd been building the thinking habits the learning routines, the standards, the identity beliefs of an entrepreneur. I acted on that opportunity, which was in foreign trade, an area I had no formal training or experience, and I grew this business to having more than 2.6 million in annual revenue. A business which I still continue to operate 19 years later. So this was because I had the identity of an entrepreneur and in place the systems of someone who was an entrepreneur, which included learning through structured, deliberate practice. So that is identity and system in action, not motivation, not luck, but design. So let me show how you can make this happen in real life and how to incorporate strategic life design in creating the life you would like for yourself. So step one, identity. You define who you're becoming, not as a wish, but as a daily standard. Step two, vision. You design what your life should look like when that identity you created in step one is lived. Step three, you create goals. You select only 3 outcomes that matter most for you in the next 90 days. Then goals or process goals to make those end goals happen. You define the behaviors and habits that create those outcomes. Step 5 is system design. You structure your environment, routines, and accountability. And then step 6, you review this loop. So you reflect weekly and refine to steps 1 to 5. So that is a system. It is simple, it is structured, it is repeatable. It works because it matches how humans actually change. So now imagine applying this to your own life, to your career, to your health, to your relationships, in fact, to all areas of your life. Imagine starting each day knowing who you're becoming, what the person you're becoming needs to do daily, what the habits you're developing and which you're removing, knowing how your life is structured to support that and how you will review and evolve this weekly. So imagine shifting from how do I get myself motivated to follow through to how do I improve and do more of what I'm currently doing. So no longer guessing, instead feeling you have direction because you have designed your life. Notice, most people don't fail in the many facets of life because they lack potential. They fail because their life was never built to support that potential. So some of you may be thinking, I've tried planning before. Well, you didn't fail because you planned. You failed because identity was missing. You may be thinking, I'm too busy. Well, that's why systems exist, so you can do more in less time. You may also think, I lack discipline. Well, you actually don't lack discipline. What you lack is a good strategic life design. Now I want you to picture yourself in 90 days. You didn't become perfect, but you became consistent. You didn't become fearless, but you became intentional. You didn't change your personality, you changed your design. You trust yourself again, you respect yourself again, and that's what strategic life design creates. Now, let me give you something practical you can use today. So take one goal, write, I am becoming the type of person who, specify the goal. Now write, to support that identity, my system will include, and specify the things you'll include in your system to make that goal and the person who delivers on that goal come to fruition. And that is the beginning of design. Very soon, I'm going to invite you to experience that process for yourself, not as a theory, not as a motivation, but as a guided experience, a full life design journey where you don't just learn, you design, you implement, and you live it. It will help you design your identity, create identity-based goals, build your habit architecture and behavior systems, create aligned systems, design your 90-day execution plan, and finally, you'll feel in control of your direction and trust yourself again. Not by trying harder, but by designing your life better. So close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself 3 months or 90 days from now. You followed through. You stayed aligned. You trusted yourself. You felt proud of your effort. Now ask, what did I change in how I lived? That answer is already inside you. It has just never been designed properly yet. In my next message, I'll show you how you can experience this process personally, not someday, not eventually, but now. And when I do, you'll understand why these 3 videos were only the beginning. Now, I'd like to invite you, before you leave this video, to comment below. I am becoming the type of person who, because once you name it, you can design and create it. You don't need more pressure. You don't need more motivation. You don't need to become someone else. You just need a life that supports who you already know you're meant to become. And very soon, I'll show you exactly how. Your future self is not waiting for more effort, more willpower, more motivation. It is waiting for better design. So look out for my next message, and hopefully we can work together to make this reality.